Hi and welcome back to my channel, where today we're going to be talking about what narcissistic supply means to the histrionic and how it's going to affect her relationships. Now, for the histrionic, narcissistic supply is generally a positive exaggeration of her own emotions. It's wanting to feel really good all the time. It's wanting our partners to help us do that. In terms of what kind of partners is a histrionic going to seek, probably equally mental to her. We're not good at masking, and we're very ego driven, so we don't want to have to. And I would advise any neurotypicals watching not to date anyone who makes you feel like you have to hide parts of yourself anyway. So generally, we're huge red flags, and we'll date other huge red flags because a lot of neurotypicals are not going to be able to match our energy. We are going to choose friends and romantic partners that do have our kind of charisma, they do have our confidence, and we do find them interesting, because that's the only way we're actually going to be able to connect to them. So in terms of, she's probably looking for a partner who's crazier, funner, and as affectionate as her. She's not likely to find this, because most people can sustain it. So that's the crazy. And with the way her mind works, if you're not giving a positive supply, you're probably giving a negative supply. So if you are down, she's not getting that supply from you, so it's depleting her, and she's trying to fix you. And it's going to be the whole scale thing, and that's how the HPD trauma bonds tend to form. And in terms of, is it going to be easy for her to cut you out of life when the scale tips to the negative quality? It's going to be very, very easy for her to do that, because once her mind has said, right, well, this person's making me unhappy, this person's bad for me, that's going to go, because she's going to go into self-preservation. Right, okay, end this friendship, end this relationship. And again, histrionics not going to hoover. Someone with classical narcissism might look at their ex and say, oh, well, they could still be good supply. Histrionic's going to go, no, bad for me, don't like him anymore. So a lot of the trauma bond in histrionics is going to come from people not accepting them. So they are going to need someone who can kind of match their crazy. And this is another thing, I think, across all cluster Bs, because we're all chaotic by nature. We're also going to need someone who is chaotic too. Because you're not going to be able to deny half your pathology. You're not going to be able to deny your nature. With awareness, you can do it in a far more healthy, less dangerous, less illegal, less destructive way, if you are doing it in those ways. But no, the thrill-seeking and the need for high energy and fun and things aren't going to go away. And she's going to need someone who can fulfill that. And the same with friendships. If a histrionic values you, it is genuinely because they like you, because they find you interesting, because you add a positive quality to their life. There's narcissistic supply, but it's kind of going both ways. Because she's probably giving and you're giving too. Because her focus is probably going to be on having a lot of fun together. most of the time. She's not going to get self-pity. So, you know, if you're in a relationship with a histrionic and you start going on that downward spiral, you know, that's pushing her down, and that's where all the crazy stuff starts, and why that's not going to work. Now, with supply, she's quite capable of getting that when she's single. She's quite happy being single. There's not a dependence on a relationship for supply, but when she is in a serious relationship, she's going to become pathologically dependent on her partner. You know, I would not advise monogamy for anyone with HPD. Chances are your partner is not going to be able to fill your needs. Because with HPD, yes, you do have the hypersexuality. That is one thing that you're not going to be able to get rid of. And you're also going to have a lot of emotional needs if you become pathologically dependent on them that nobody can fill. Like, we need constant affection and fun and passion, and, you know, we're a tall order. That's what tends to drive our partners insanely insecure. Which is why we tend to see really confident partners. So, yeah, it doesn't work out. But certainly, I probably wouldn't advise a kind of mixture between someone with HPD and someone neurotypical. I think we would drive a neurotypical insane. Definitely. Right. Now, the other part of histrionic supply is, you know, it's about emotions. It involves theatricality, it involves attention. You know, sometimes what could be seen as more negative emotions can feel fucking good. Like, if you're frustrated, you have a rant, that feels good. So unlike, you know, vulnerable NPD, with the grandiose NPD and the histrionic personality disorder, she's not going to have a problem causing a scene in public. She's going to need you to be able to deal with that and respond appropriately. You know, sometimes you can have an occasional barnaby. It's fine. Like, there are going to be higher conflict individuals, especially as they're super emotional. So you can have to deal with that with histrionic. You know, you might prefer a classical narcissist who would leave you alone and give you the silent treatment. No histrionic is ever going to give you the silent treatment. Not in a relationship. Once she dumps you, yeah, definitely. But in a relationship, no. It's we can't deal with that in a partner. We can't deal with feeling like there's problems. We'll try and fix them in sometimes very misguided ways. We can get bored of partners, we'll discard them, but like, no, this isn't working for us. If our partners display self-pity and insecurities, it's going to drive us away. We're going to become less and less attracted to them, and we're going to devalue ourselves for being with them, and we're going to be like, no, this isn't healthy for either of us. So yes, with all of that said, supply for the histrionic is very much an emotional exchange. You know, if you're a miserable bastard to be around, histrionic's not going to go near you. But equally, if you're very sensible, you're probably not going to go near a histrionic. No, we're lovely, mostly, sometimes. So yes, those are some of the differences in supply and how they affect our relationships that differentiate narcissistic supply with HPD and narcissistic supply under NPD. Thank you for listening.